What should my daughter major in to have the best chance of getting in? Now, this is one of the most common questions I get, and I want to reframe it before I answer it because the way the question is usually asked points toward the wrong strategy. This question here assumes there's a major that's statistically easier to get into, and if you just pick that major, your student has a better chance. And while technically that's true, applying as a student interested in, say, comparative literature rather than computer science at a school where CS is widely oversubscribed might mean fewer competing applicants. But that math only works if the major choice is believable. Here's the thing admissions officers are very good at, which is detecting inauthenticity. A student with 4 years of robotics competitions, 2 summer coding internships, and a research paper in computer science who applies to a literature major stands out in the wrong way. The application tells a story that the major choice contradicts, and that incoherence raises more questions than it answers. So the actual answer to your question is the major that gives your daughter or your son the best chance is the one that is most coherent with everything else in the application. The one that makes the admissions officer read the file and think, of course, she's applying in this field. Look at everything else she's built. So what I tell families is this. Don't choose a major to game the system. Choose a major that becomes the lens through which everything else in the application makes sense. And then make sure the activities, the research, the essays, and the narrative all point in the same direction. The question I'd rather help you answer isn't which major gives my daughter the best odds. It's which direction in her profile is already the strongest, and how do we build a narrative that makes that direction feel inevitable to an admissions officer? That reframe changes everything about how the application gets built. Now, the caveat to that is, what if my child has 2 majors that they're interested in that the application equally supports? In that case, then we would do some research to the specific schools that you're looking at and look at these admission stats and the trend, which majors are more popular at that school. So that's the point when we would look at that kind of thing. But that's not the first question that you should be asking.